Hi.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm good. Thanks for having me here.
Well, I'm Camille. I'm here with Sober Sessions, and we're sitting here today with Ian Flannigan, who will be one of our artists performing our upcoming Sober Sessions, March 27th at Marathon Music Works. So thank you for
Yes.
being here with us today.
No, thank you guys for having me. I can't wait to get together with everybody on the 27th.
So Ian, tell me a little bit about what you've been up to lately.
Oh, I've just been really fortunate to be making a lot of music, raising two beautiful babies with my wife Kelsey, and just about to start touring for the year now that winter's kind of coming to an end.
Okay, where are you touring?
First, I'm heading out to Napa Valley, California for backstage access. They have an event coming up in April. And then I've got a few dates in upstate New York, Saugerties, New York on March 2nd. And my favorite one of all, though, is March 27th with Sober Sessions coming up here at Marathon Music.
All right, that's our favorite too.
Yes.
Are there any songs that you're looking forward to playing? Any songs that you'll be playing on this upcoming tour that are your favorites to perform live?
Yeah, I've been writing a lot. I've been writing a lot of my own music, not as much co-writing this past year, just kind of getting, I've just had a lot of music in my head I needed to get out. But I've always got a few favorites. One of my favorite songs to perform live is a song called Devil in My Hands. And, that song kind of, it kind of encapsulates my youth of making poor decisions but remaining hopeful in life. And this next body of work of mine is kind of focused on that too, and more as a different chapter, being a father and just my love of the world still.
You said the title was Devil in My Hands.
Yeah.
Can you tell me about where the title comes from and what that songwriting was about?
Sure. Yeah. So for me, I was thinking about it on the way over here where this April 2026, I'll be 11 years alcohol and
Wow,
narcotic free.
congratulations.
So
That's
thank
incredible.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So time flies, but I wrote this song a few years back, and sometimes you have to have some distance between the time that life was happening and have some clarity on that. So I wrote this song kind of more about my days before I got sober and just kind of that struggle, that internal struggle where it's like, what I'm doing is not who I am. I'm really excited I'm still hopeful to get through this, hopefully, and become the person I know I am and want to be. So for me, Devil in My Hands is really just kind of a song about that duality of like, who you are is not who you are meant to be, and
Yeah.
inside is not representing yourself.
Oh Lord, does a man like me still got time to get my wings? What I've done ain't who I am. Angel on my shoulder and the devil in my hands. Well, I can't lie, been on the run. Can't go back to where I'm from. It's 5 years waiting in a cold dark cell. Angel on my shoulder, save me from myself. Yes, I know my soul is clean. Got the angel watching over me. I got to be a better man. Listen to the angels, not the devil in my hands. Women give me trouble, money do the same. There ain't enough whiskey to numb the pain. Heaven up above me, hell below. I pray I'm walking on a righteous road. Hey now mama, please don't cry. See you next spring before July. Where I'm going too soon to tell. Angel on my shoulder, save me from myself. Yes, I know my soul is clean. Got the angel watching over me. I got to be a better man. Listen to the I know my soul is clean. Got the angel watching over me. I got to be a better man. Listen to the angel, not the devil in my head.
Any other song that comes to mind that?
Yeah, sure. I've been writing a lot lately, and one of these new songs of mine is called "The End of the Road," and it's really a song now from a different perspective. Where the road life for me as a musician, I've been traveling since I was 17, and just kind of going anywhere I could get work, wherever I could play and perform, and that's where I would live. And now I'm at a spot where I have a family in Nashville. I'm raising kids and have a beautiful wife at home, and this song is more just about kind of getting through the road just to get back to the end of it, where I've got this life waiting for me now.
So you've been a touring musician for a really long time then.
Yeah, a really long time. I feel like I'm getting old now, but yeah, as long as I can really remember, that's all I've been trying to do. So I've been really fortunate to see a lot of the country, and it's a beautiful, beautiful world out there. And once you start, you just really can't ever stop. It's addicting as well. Yeah.
So how does the experience being on tour, being on the road, how has that experience changed in the last 11 years from like before 11
Oh
years
yeah.
ago?
Well, before I didn't really remember much of my shows, but it took me a long time. I would say it took me about 2 years to be comfortable performing again without using anything. And I think it just took me that long to be comfortable with who I am, just as a person. These days, I'm fortunate to be removed from that part of myself for so long to where I can really just enjoy it. And I enjoy watching people celebrate, and I enjoy being a part of um, people taking a break from their day to day life, and try to just celebrate as much as we can on the road, but in a nice way,
Right.
you know.
So what is next for you? What's on the horizon?
Really, right now it's just recording music. I'm in the middle of recording a new EP. I don't have a title for it yet. I've got about 10 songs I'm going through, and just I'll be releasing those starting in April. I've got one song coming out March 9th that I'm very excited about.
Mhm.
It's called "Lord Have Mercy."
That's almost tomorrow.
It's
Yeah.
tomorrow.
That's basically
Yeah.
tomorrow.
But yeah, I've got a brand new song coming out called "Lord Have Mercy," and it's a collaboration I did with Viral Sound Productions, some buddies of mine out in LA. And it's just this really kind of almost like alt country, kind of gritty, fun song. And I'm really honored to be a part of it. And so that'll be out on March 9th. I'm very excited about that. But otherwise, just raising babies and making music.
Have you noticed that your songwriting process has changed in recovery, or any difference in the content of your lyrics, like the vibe of your music?
Yeah, I think that the best thing about recovery for songwriting for me has been just being able to kind of internalize and go introspective. And I don't know, music and writing has always been kind of like a therapy in itself for me.
Mm,
And as the years go by, the same situation kind of is different in my mind. And I could rewrite that chapter again and again as I
yeah.
grow through life.
It's
So,
almost like processing through
yeah,
songwriting,
definitely.
which is a useful tool in therapy as well. Like,
Yeah,
there are therapies that do exactly that.
pretty much music is just saving me a lot on therapy.
Nice.
Yeah. But no, I think recovery has been the main part that has turned music into a career for me. I would not be for sure, 100%. I don't think I would be here at all. So
Um,
for my writing, I think it's just a lot of gratitude. I try to always have a sense of gratitude, and I always try to keep a bit of hope in every song, even when I'm talking about the darker stuff.
Mhm. Do you care to share about some of the challenges that you've experienced, and especially like in active addiction or outside of active addiction? And
Sure. I mean, I'll try to keep it like PG-13 maybe. But you know, my whole journey with addiction and recovery really started with music as well. When you're 17, 18, 19 and you're playing bars and you're paid in free tabs,
Mhm.
your worth is alcohol in a sense. And at those times in your life, it's really easy to chase that high.
Sure.
So for me, back in those days when I was getting started, I just built this really unhealthy relationship from day one with alcohol. And that's where my personal value was even tied to it, where that's how I'm paid. It's like what I am. And my worth was really low, even if I didn't register that at the time.
Mhm.
So by the time I was in my mid 20s, I just had an extremely unhealthy relationship with that and really any substance. But for me, it's always just been, it was one of those things where I was an only child growing up, traveled a lot on my own. I was trying to just find art in the world
Mhm.
and somehow harness it. And all of a sudden, it became my best friend. And then it started turning against me, where I was no longer able to function like a normal person, and for me, it was mostly alcohol that got me, and I remember there was. I'll try to stay away from any crazy stories, but a lot of what happened is it took a good guy who just wanted to, bring love into the world. And it kind of brought me down all these paths that ended up with, being arrested multiple times, losing a lot of friends, relationships gone, a lot of doors and bridges that were closed and burned down, and for me it was all chasing a dream in a sense where I was trying to push for this career that felt impossible, and alcohol was just a part of the currency. And one day I just, you know, couldn't really figure it out anymore. And I remember the first time that I went to rehab, I had a few different altercations where I don't even know how I get in them, but I would always get them. But I remember making the decision that like I'm done. I'm really gonna just I won't be around much longer if I don't make this choice.
Mhm.
And the first time I decided to go into a treatment center, it was one of the hardest points in my life, but the best thing I ever did. And now I will tell you that I relapsed quite a few times after that. But if I hadn't done the first step of recovery, I would never have built any community at all. So,
Right.
Woke up again, a place I'd never been, like a dog lost out on the highway. Another day, another mile slips away, running like the devil's close behind me. And I don't got much in this world to call my own. The dollar never made much sense to me. I got just enough, it's gonna get me through. Just enough is all I'll ever need. I got 4 wheels turning, 3,000 miles to go, 2 lanes of black tire burning, and a woman waiting on me at the end of the road. And I know that God ain't hiding in the high rise. Angels don't wear a suit and tie. My heaven landscape. It ain't that far away. It's waiting at the end of that white line. I got 4 wheels turning, 3,000 miles to go. 2 lanes of black tar burning, and a woman waiting on me at the end of the road. Four wheels turning, 3,000 miles to go. 2 lanes of black tar burning, and a woman waiting on me at the end of the road. I got a woman waiting on me at the end of the road.
Right.
It was a long process for me.
Yeah, I've definitely experienced for myself that growth is not linear. It doesn't look
No.
like this. Sometimes we
Yeah.
go like that. Sometimes, it can look all types of different shapes.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I think for me, a lot of what happened that kind of kept me there is needing to work and be around it all the time
Mm,
was hard for me in the beginning. And now I'm really not bothered by people celebrating drinking anything.
mhm.
But I'll tell you, anybody going through it, it is very important to remove yourself from that situation for a long time, even if financially or whatever, if it hurts, it's necessary.
So,
Yeah.
what would you say to maybe an aspiring musician or someone who works in creative spaces that feels that it might be impossible to separate those two worlds?
Well, I would say that it's not impossible, but it does take time.
Mm,
And I would just say that you don't know the chapter that you're walking towards when you walk away from it, but you definitely know the chapter you're walking towards if you stay in the same pattern. So I would just trust that, you know, the good inside you is always going to be greater than all that negative stuff because it's a lot of time you're just medicating yourself for something else. But I would say to embrace the unknown of it, and there's a lot of great people, there's a lot of great communities in the sober community, and recovery is amazing, and it's nothing to fear.
mm, I love that.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was so good.
Oh,
Like,
I'm just rambling, by the way. You can cut my mic anytime.
no,
I
not at
don't know what
all.
I'm saying.
Not at all. I know that you spoke to the alcohol and your relationship with drinking becoming almost like an identity, like something that
Oh, yeah.
what was part of who you were as a person. What has that journey kind of been like to maybe not rediscover who you were, or like have you discovered something new? Like, can you talk about what that process has been like for you?
Yeah, for me, it was the oddest thing. Like I said, music kind of brought me into it. And then it was music that again brought me back out, and I felt it in a different way. Obviously, going to treatment, you're making certain decisions and you're around people with different thoughts and beliefs, and you kind of start to see a different path in life. Like hopelessness is the worst it gets. You can be hurt, down and out and broke, but once you're hopeless,
Mm,
it is a different kind of bad, and music brought back hope to me, and that's where I feel good when I play music. And that's enough to live the best life I can, just to feel something like that again,
mhm.
and it took me a few months being sober to really get my feelings back. Even I was pretty numb at that time and I was just kind of down. But then I started writing again and it started filling me with a purpose, and sharing that and writing with others and just creating art, it does feel like a purpose to me, where it's something to wake up for. It's a gift that we can leave something beautiful behind. And, my life, I'm nothing special. I'm just a human, and I hope to, impact the world in a good way. But once I felt like music was actually doing good for other people, and it was giving me some kind of platform where I could help change other people for
Mm,
give them something good in life, that's when it really kind of became bigger than me, you know?
yeah. You mentioned music being a source of hope. Are there any influences or artists that you can point to that were a source of hope like that for you when you needed it?
There was a lot of local bands actually in my life. It's never been a really famous, awesome person
Mhm.
as much as they've helped me in life, like listening to great music. But it was a lot of local musicians actually. Like when I was coming up, or when I'd just gotten in the biggest trouble of my life, it was local bands that that had my back, took
Wow.
me out, and like a couple sober buddies from one of my good buddies, PJ McMahon, from the Paul Luke band, a country band, a Catskill Mountain country band I played with for years. I remember getting out of rehab and nobody was talking to me. I was real down. And I remember he came and picked me up with a buddy Terry, and we just, you know, drove around, and they made it less. They made it good again. And there's just a lot of local love that I had in that music scene. So I would say all my friends, friends I came up with.
Healing happens in community.
It does,
Yeah.
I've had
Not
a
in a
lot of
vacuum.
spiritual moments with like Led Zeppelin records, but at the end of the day, it's the friends in the hometown.
Amazing. Um, can you think of any particular moments in the last like 11 years or maybe more recent than that that have been highlights for you?
Oh yeah, well, one thing I'll say is, because you never know who's listening, right? And or who's going through what they're going through. I had a buddy, he's a cousin of mine, but I call him my brother, and he decided to get sober with me at that time. We were like partners in crime as well.
Hmm.
So we'd never made really good decisions, but that was one we did. And I'll get back to that question, but what we ended up doing is we both had these jobs that really weren't very great, were just labor jobs. And every day we got out pretty early and we would just fished. We fished up in Phoenicia for 6 to 8 hours till the sun was down, and we just removed ourselves from nightlife in general. And I didn't perform, and I didn't worry about playing out or making money that way. And we just kind of disappeared, and we caught a bunch of trout and didn't drink. And that was one of the main highlights after first getting sober, was like building that new life. I would say that was one of my biggest accomplishments, is that first year of sobriety, like really getting through that one.
Hmm.
Otherwise, I mean, life is it's a constant journey, but I'd say at this point it's really just my family. My two girls, Callie and Lennon, and my wife Kelsey. I think those are my accomplishments. Musically, I've had a lot of really fun stuff happen, but you know, those are the two things that I think of that are going to last forever.
Wow, incredible. Well, we can't wait to have you on March 27th. We're so excited for you to play sober sessions with us. And yeah, thanks again for taking the time to meet with us today.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for having me.